All right, so I'm Laura. This is Kristen. We're going to be talking about the Jellinek curve in addiction and recovery. This is a role play. So thanks for coming back, Kristen. How's your week been? Good. And when you were here last week, I sent you home with the Jellinek curve, and it looks like, based upon what you handed to me, that you're feeling like you're in this area of this progression downward in your drinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the paper, you said you've been feeling some guilty feelings surrounding your drinking behaviors, or
Yeah, I've kind of been lying, really kind of withholding the truth just from like family members and stuff like that. Making excuses for my drinking and stuff. Really just so I don't have to deal with them telling me their opinions.
You don't want to hear your husband's or your sister's opinion about your drinking?
Yeah.
So then it's more about not wanting to hear what they have to say, or not basically. I just want to make sure I understand where you're at.
I mean, it's been that. I haven't kept some promises that, I said. I didn't go to my nephew's birthday party because I was hungover. So I just didn't feel like going. So I made the excuse, that I just didn't feel well.
Okay.
And so there's been family issues with that, with them saying that it has to do with my drinking and me making excuses.
So this is causing you some family issues in relationships.
Yeah.
What about work, money, anything like that?
I've missed a couple days at work because of it, and now for the rest of the year, I can't get any paid time off. And I always get sick during the winter, and I've called off for hangovers for that too. So I'm out of that. So my husband's really upset about that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. So when I sent this chart home with you, you read through the rest of the downward path into addiction, right?
Yeah.
So what's stopping you from dropping further in that progression? Because there's a lot of other things that can come after this, right? And then what we end up doing is we end up getting down here in this vicious cycle where we actually see that we do want to stop drinking, but we can't seem to do it. And so we struggle with these thoughts of something doesn't feel right. I can't keep going on this way, but I drink anyway, okay? So here you are, and you're starting to feel some of the issues creeping up.
Yeah.
But you also were able to see a lot of other things that could be coming.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want those to come. I've heard about withdrawal and people going through that and stuff like that. I really love my work, and so like the thinking part of it, like it could disrupt my thinking and my cognitive abilities and stuff like that. Just wouldn't do me good.
Okay.
So I don't want to get into that at all.
Okay. So then what we can do is we can actually talk a little bit about what's happening here and how the disease of addiction is progressive in nature. Okay. And it can be impactful in many areas of your life, including the way that you're thinking, can impair the way you're thinking. It can, especially when you get down in this area, fill you with almost obsessive thoughts of what you should be doing versus what you are doing. Maybe you're drunk and you're wondering, what did I say? Who did I make angry? What didn't I do because I chose to drink instead, right? So you start here, I like this is fun, it helps me to relax, but then that becomes something that happens more and more, and you kind of start to use it, to cope, maybe?
And I think that's where I'm at now.
Okay.
And so...
Okay. So you're using it to cope now. Yeah. So with the stresses of
just
what's happening?
Everything, just normal stresses that didn't seem to used to bother me.
Okay.
For some reason, they're bothering me now, and that's why I wondered too if I'm just making excuses for myself to say I want to drink.
Okay.
And then, of course, it's causing problems with my family now and causing me to lie. And that's not who I am.
Okay.
I don't lie to my family or my husband. And I've started to do that.
Okay. Well, have you given any thought to addiction? like, or alcoholism? What is it to you?
I've looked a little bit after you sent me home with this. I've looked at it.
Okay, good.
Which is what made me realize I didn't want to go through the rest of that was towards the bottom.
Good. Okay.
So
let's
really
talk then about the fact that when we get down into this area, when we start experiencing physical symptoms of withdrawal, so if your drinking continues to escalate, you'll start to be in a place where your body is so used to having the alcohol as a calming factor. You overcompensate so much in that area that then when you don't have the alcohol, you actually begin to experience physical symptoms, shaking, tremors, just feeling sick, right? So that would be something that would be coming if your drinking continued to escalate. You might begin to even just start drinking alone. So you're not even worried about the social aspect of it, of going out with your friends after work or, other social gatherings. You just worry about being able to drink. And in this area too, some of your friends and even family members might try, avoiding you a bit because they don't like what they're seeing, and they see here that even though they're mentioning it to you, you're not necessarily listening, right? And you might find yourself hanging with other people, new people that like to party the way you do, right? So when that happens, you start to think differently. The way that you used to think is not the way you think anymore. Okay, things become less clear. You're full of unexplainable anxiety and worry about the future and things along those lines, right? So what's happening is, and that we need to remember, is that while we're in that drinking, we're blind to the fact, right, that this is all happening to us. It creates a blind spot, this drinking. And we need to know that it's the chemical dependency, the disease of addiction, that is playing such a big part in keeping you blind to what's going on. So we've caught you at a great place right before you've gone down further. But with the disease, if you get down here, you won't be able to see as clearly, okay? But your body down here is now dependent. And once the body's dependent, you're continuing to be in that cycle, drinking, wanting to stop, drinking, wanting to stop.